Now that's some funky music. Welcome to Alon's Blog Club. This is the ABC show. That's Alon and Ira. I'm Ira Bowman, your host. We are happy to have you joining us. We're on 3 different channels right now. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're on LinkedIn. So welcome to the show wherever you're from. If you'd like to say hello, this is an interactive show. Look, we're going to have a question for you. Hopefully you've already read Alon's blog, because if you haven't, you might need a hug, and if you did, you're going to get a hug too. So either way, you're going to get hugged today, whether you like it or not. Get over it, you big babies who don't like hugs. Don't touch me. I'm going to touch you. An emotional hug, maybe. I don't know. Alon, show, brother. Welcome back to the United States. Home away from home. All that stuff.
Thank you. Glad to be here, to be honest.
How much weight did you gain eating all them cookies and ice cream?
Oh, yeah. Mom, sometimes I feel my mom, she cooks everything with carbs.
Yes.
Just everything is carbs. Yeah. Hey, Ira, I'm getting bunch of messages for people on LinkedIn how to join.
Yep.
How to join this event.
So I wish there was a way. This is the one drawback of LinkedIn Live. There's no the link is going to be here, click here, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So what I recommend people do, if they want to preset this thing, the way to do it is to follow on my YouTube channel or even on Facebook. You go to Bowman Digital Media on Facebook. You can go to Ira Bowman channel on YouTube. And then it'll actually give you a notification when we go live. Yeah. But if you're on LinkedIn, and I know a lot of people don't like to leave LinkedIn, I totally get it. So what you have to do is you have to basically follow me, which I know sounds self-serving, but that is what it is. And sometimes it'll give you a notification, but even that I'm finding a lot of the times doesn't happen. So you just have to click on my profile and then go to the activity and then view video, and we're there. So it's just a little bit learning how to navigate LinkedIn, the algorithm, because there's so many people and so many different things going on. They don't show you everything. They show you what they think you want to see the most. That's the idea of the algorithm anyways. And, it stinks that we can't say, like, click on this link every Wednesday at 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock and you'll find us. That would be so much easier. But because the link doesn't exist until we actually go live, that's really
right.
The limitation is. So hopefully all that makes sense. I know that your followers are maybe don't even know who the heck I am. Who's this Ira guy? Totally get it. But I'm nice. You're nice. We get along. That's why we're on the show together.
There you go, man.
Yeah, and I like to tease you, and you like to tease back, which is fun, because it's not fun if you're teasing somebody and they don't tease you back. It almost feels like you're picking on them. So,
it looks like we do have a bunch of people on already.
Yeah, let's get to some comments here. I'll show you. So we've got, let's see, I don't know how to say that. I'm not even going to try. My friend Sabrina, Dave, welcome. These are all from LinkedIn. This is Kelly Robinson. And they're saying hi to each other, and they're actually all talking to each other. That's wonderful. Okay, so if you're watching us, we have more people because I can see more people on YouTube, on Facebook, or on LinkedIn. Go ahead and say hi. We're going to ask you some questions in the show, so we want you to get used to engaging with us. Alon likes the attention now. I could go either way. Alon, he really does. He likes it when people say hi. So there we go. India. Now, is anybody farther away than India? Let's see. Andy's here. Hi, Andy. Yariv? Is that how you say it? Yariv? I think.
He's here. Yariv, yeah, I know Yariv.
Okay. So there we go. We got some people, and Kelly's agreeing with you that carbs are great, although I actually don't think that's what you were saying. I think what you were saying is carbs are the devil because I asked you how much weight you gained, and then you went into carbs. So there you go. Pay attention, Kelly. She still thinks that you like the coffee-flavored ice cream. She hasn't figured that out. From last week, it wasn't coffee-flavored ice cream. It was coffee-flavored candy.
That's right. Coffee flavored candy.
Yeah, that's how the Japanese got the. That's how the coffee company got the Japanese to drink the coffee, was through the candy. Anyways, emotional relevance. You got that term trademarked, and
I
you got
did.
and you got
Emotional relevance. I got a trademark. Ira, how cool is that to know that you coined a term
yeah.
in the English language? How
No,
cool is that?
super cool. I mean, it's not even a little cool. It's like it's maximum cool. Did you notice I put his face to face? I wanted to get closer.
Yeah. Let's hold on. Let's do this for a second.
Wait.
Ira, I want to tell you something.
All right, I'm listening. Go ahead.
The next step after trademarking it is I'm going to send an actual definition of emotional relevance to the Webster Dictionary and then
Now,
Wikipedia.
that's cool. When you
Right?
do that, I want to put that on video. That'll be cool.
Oh yeah, sure.
But, now I know I'm supposed to turn this way too, so I can look at you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're kind of silly. So let's see. We got Matt. Matt's in the house now. I got to give Matt a special shout out. Oh my goodness, this dude made me cry this week. That beard is not really what we're used to seeing. It's a lot shorter, and the reason why it's shorter is because Matt has declared himself no longer a cancer fighter. We're talking cancer survivor, y'all. God is good. This is a guy who had stage 4 cancer. Stage 4. That's the serious stuff.
Can I tell you something about Matt?
Yeah.
Matt doesn't know it, but he actually sparked this week's blog. Because if you read the blog, it's about that feeling, that special feeling you feel when you meet somebody, right? And you just know that there's something there, right? It's just, but the blog talks about how, in the corporate world, we're not allowed to actually verbalize it or talk about it or hug it out.
Hey,
right? But Matt,
don't give it all away. We're going to come back to that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying about Matt, that Matt and I, somebody sent me a note.
Do you have a brother?
Somebody sent me a note on LinkedIn when I posted the blog last week. He said, look, I'm not a hugger, but, I like a really good firm handshake. And it's just like the feedback here when it gets live, like you said earlier, that I like the feedback. It's like a virtual hug. So whether it's an actual hug or saying hi, or, Matt and I, we haven't connected yet physically. We never met, but the connection was so deep. That's what I mean when I say a hug.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get it. And actually, I don't want to admit this, but I do like it a little bit too. Like I'm the guy that pretends like I don't like it, and then I actually do sometimes like it. But I'm standoffish because I don't want you to overdo it. Like my wife will come over, and trust me, I like a hug from my wife. I like a smooch, you know what I mean? I like that stuff, but I don't necessarily want to do it for 15 minutes. That's all I'm saying. So some of those people, once you open up and say, okay, it's okay, then they think they have carte blanche. And I don't necessarily want you to, hang on my neck. And I'm a little guy too. You guys, we've talked about this before. Your name in Hebrew is Big Oak, right?
A what?
Your name in Hebrew.
Oak. Oak, yes.
Yeah, right? And I told you that I'm the shrub. Well, the shrub doesn't want to be shadowed by the tree all day. You know what I mean?
All right, Ira.
Give me a little sunshine. So that sunshine come through.
I gotta show you something. I wore it especially for today. My team, my last corporate job, my team got to know me and got it for me.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yep, ready. Danger, I'm a hugger. Wait a minute, let's see. Can I zoom in? There it is. Yeah. That's awesome. I need a screenshot of that. All right, I got it. That's good. We're gonna put that in an advertisement for this show for next time.
Sure.
So, anyways, all right. Well, we've got some people promising overdue our hugs and stuff. That's all right, Matt. You go ahead and you give me that, and actually, we'll sing a duet. I think Matt's a singer too. Matt and I have a lot in common. So I'm excited for him. I couldn't be happier. You know, cancer is obviously a major deal, and to have somebody to overcome it, especially when he's got so much life left to live, you know, it's really neat to see God blessing in that way. So I'm excited for my friend Matt. I know you are too. I know a lot of people are. We were talking about it. I'm in a couple. They're not. There's this thing on LinkedIn called pods. I'm not in pods. I don't believe in pods. I don't engage in pods. But I do have some groups where we chat, and we'll chit chat about all kinds of stuff. But one day, when he made that announcement, somebody shared the video because I actually didn't see it in my feed. Like, speaking about the algorithm, and they were talking about it. And I kind of figured, because it was 8 minutes long, and they're like, you got to watch it. And Matt even knows that most people won't watch a full 8-minute video. But first of all, I love the production value of it, Matt. Even in that, you still had an awesome video. But the content, I mean, I knew it was coming because, you kind of foreshadowed it a little bit. So I got it. I got what was going to happen. And I still was like a big old baby. I would have hugged him then. I'd been like, come here, you big booby. Give me a hug. Anyways, if you're not familiar with the expression big booby, what is that show? Oh my goodness. There's a show that was on a couple years ago, and it was an English show. It was about the turn of the century. Anyways, it was about the servants in the house of the show. One of the guys was called a big booby. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, that's the mind of Ira. Let's see. What did you say? Love it. Talk to us soon, Elon. You know I love you. Got a jet. Get out of here. God's got this. No problem. Cancer survivor.
See you later, Matt.
Not a cancer fighter anymore. Hopefully never again to fight that fight. Just to walk as a survivor. What a cool thing. Okay. What do we got? We got a question here or a statement. She's probably trying to get us on track. She's like, what about this thing, guys? Hey, I think we're showing a little bit of what you wrote about, so we could get into that maybe.
Yeah, let's do it.
I want to talk about Israel. Can we talk about Israel, or should we save that for later?
It's you can talk about whatever you want, man.
Well, it's your show too. I mean,
No, listen. Let's do this.
I've never been there. So for me, okay, so I mean, full disclosure, I've read my Bible cover to cover many, many times. I have a degree in the Bible. So, I've read a lot of the stories, okay? But I've never been there. I've seen some pictures, but I have no real concept of what it's like. So I'm always curious to talk to people who have been there, and I've got some presents. Like, people have brought me some presents back or sent them to me when they went over there, which is kind of neat. I actually come from a Jewish lineage, so I have that family history too, which is kind of cool. But I've never been there, and I want to go there. So, anyways, what you lived there?
I spoke to Matt, and quite a few people when they heard that I'm going, they're like, "Oh man, we got to go." So we need to put a date, sometimes next year, like June next year, and like literally arrange a group, see who wants to go.
Yeah. Well, I want to. The problem is, if I go,
you need to charter a whole plane just for your kids.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. Like, do I take the kids or do I not take the kids? Because if I'm taking,
you need a loan for all the 8 kids you have. You need a loan.
Right, and could I just take my wife? I mean, we went to Hawaii. We didn't take the kids, and I kind of felt guilty for about 5 seconds. Then I didn't feel guilty anymore.
That's awesome.
I think Israel I might feel a little bit more guilty for probably 10 seconds. But anyway, so that's the big dilemma. And then of course we've still got this pandemic thing going on. So I kind of want to wait to make any more plans. I don't know if I told you, but I was supposed to go to Hawaii, which I did, and then I was supposed to go to Alaska in June. And the Alaska trip obviously got canceled. Well, I don't want to go through that again. That was very disheartening. We had known about the Alaska trip for over a year, and then the day that we had to cancel the trip, it was hard to swallow that. It was like someone stealing your birthday cake or something.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyways, all right. So your favorite thing that you did while you were in Israel was?
The trip. How was it?
No. What was your favorite thing? What
my favorite thing? To be honest,
yeah.
My favorite thing this time was hanging out with my daughter.
Okay.
We've been really, really good friends. This time around was just really special.
Yeah. Well, I get that. I mean, my two oldest kids now are out of the house, so I get it. You know, it's not having them every day. It's a life change. It really is a life change. So when you do get to see them, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So okay. The hardest part, I think, would have been the quarantine, but I just want to double check.
It was frustrating, but I'm working on a project that I'm launching. Actually, Matt is helping me with that project, but I'm working on this project that I'm launching on the 21st, which is a new program for sales teams and account management teams, customer success teams, basically how to sell in the virtual world, utilizing emotional relevance, right? Okay. A lot of them are now basically saying, hey, my sales skills stayed the same, my goals stayed the same, but the environment changed. I can't go wine and dine the customer anymore. I can't go shake their hands or do, chit chat or small talk in the hallway like I'm used to, because everything is online now. So I created this whole program based on emotional relevance for teams. As a matter of fact, there's somebody here on the call, Brandy, who is kind of waiting for me to send her the program when it's ready. So Brandy, hi, by the way, probably another week or so, and I'll be able to send it to you so you can circulate it in your company over there following our conversation.
I'm looking to see if I could find a comment from Brandy, but I don't see her.
By the way, Ira, just so you know, I call it the power of presence without being present.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. I do like that. All right. So we are 120. We're at 122. So we're going to get into the blog. I know that's the star of the show, is the article itself. Hopefully you guys had a chance to read it. I didn't ask you. We didn't get a lot of prep time before the show started. So do we have a question to ask? And while he's answering that question, you want to answer it not in the comments. What you want to do is send me a direct message on LinkedIn, and the first one to get the right answer is going to be the lucky winner. And if you want, I can give away the prize, or if you want to give away the prize, I have something prepared if needed. We didn't talk about that either.
Yeah, the question is, who said play by the rules but be ferocious?
Ooh, that's in there. I remember that. Okay, now this is a contest. Do you want to be the prize giver, or do you want me to be the prize giver this week?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna give away a prize. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to record you a little promotional video for free.
What?
This is something that people pay a lot of money for through Bowman Digital Media. The winner, first one, DM in my inbox to answer that question. Go to LinkedIn. Ira Bowman message. Everybody in the world can send me one. You don't have to worry about being connected. The winner gets a custom-made 30 to 60-second video from Bowman Digital Media, 100% for free. All you got to do is connect with me, and we'll work out the details on how to get it done.
Crazy.
Yep, it's a cash value of about $500 is what that would work out to be. So. Okay, don't put the answer in the comments here. Put the answer in the DM, because I already see the answer. So somebody could just go and copy your answer and send it to me in my DM. And the DM is going to be the one who gets the prize, not the person who put it in the comments. So welcome to the show. If you didn't know, now you know. That's how you win. But I'm just saying, you might want to rush over. And never mind. The winner's already... the winner's already in. Sabrina Smith, you got it right.
Hold on. I want a full answer. What'd you say? I want not just the name, but who is that guy that said it? What was his title?
Oh, well, okay. So she just gave me the name.
No. Who is that guy?
Who is that guy?
Earn it, Sabrina. Earn it.
Tell us. Hit that Google button.
Earn it.
All right, we got two people in with the name, but neither one of them has told us who the person is. So we're looking for why is that name important, right? What made Mr.
I will give you a hint. He was a CEO of a very, very famous company.
Yep.
So
for sure. No worries, Yolanda. But get to my DM. Get to it quick if you know the answer. Who is Phil Knight a CEO for? That's basically what the question is turned into now. Last week we couldn't get the right answer the whole show. Oh, this one we got it in the first 60 seconds. I couldn't even get the prize out, but that's cool. That's all. It's good. Okay, so that'll be fun. And now I'll tell you what we'll do. If we can get the video made before we air in 2 weeks, I'll actually play the video that I made on the show. That'll be fun.
Cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, so let's get into the blog. I'm going to share my screen. I've got it. I've got the blog already up. So there it is. We can see it. Okay, so the title of the blog is "Hug It Out, but Only on the Way Out." It's funny. I got somebody trying to call me right now. I'm going to just not answer that. All right. So let's have our wonderful blog author. Are we gonna let's read it first, and then we can get into the questions about it. Let's do that.
This one really moved me. Like, I get frustrated about these things, so I'll read it as I was thinking through it. Okay.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem at all.
So one of the amazing things I experienced when communicating with people is that feeling, right? That feeling when you simply know. It's a feeling when you meet somebody, you shake their hand, and you both look at each other for a second, and you simply feel it. Okay. And please, anybody who's listening right now through whatever channel, please comment if you know what I'm talking about, right? If it happened to you. I call it like an emotional spark. You just feel it, right? So let's say you go for a meeting with that, and with prospect, potential customer, you meet somebody there, it happens. And during the next few minutes of your conversation, your communication with that person, your instincts are guiding you, your old brain is guiding you to look whether that spark was relevant, right? So the meeting goes on, and if the spark was right, you'll find yourself doing what I call the subconscious emotional dance, right? You kind of test subconsciously during the meeting what you felt when you met. Was it right or not, right? And how do you test it? How is that dance go, right? It goes like, there's a glance in the middle of the meeting, there's a nod, right? That person kind of agreeing with you and giving you the signal. You never met them before that. You don't really know the person, but there was a connection there, right? They give you a half a smile, a wink, right? Then you know that the dance actually started. Maybe they make a comment or ask a question related to the slides that somebody else was presenting, right? And you say, yes, that's right, I agree with you, right? Then you kind of both look at each other, kind of, yeah, I got it. I got your back, man, right? You know what I'm talking about, Ira?
I do. I totally do.
Yeah, and we're all been there, but here's the problem, the biggest problem. Most of us keep it to ourselves. It's like we experience something that we're not allowed to experience. Sometimes it's like a best kept secret, right? Because if you share what you feel with with the other person, it might be seen something like weird, different, because we are taught in the corporate environment that it's not okay to share feelings out of the workplace. It's not okay to express emotion. And if you experienced anything like what we just talked about, you will admit that when that meeting ends, right, there's always an awkward moment where you're supposed to say goodbye. And you really want to just look at that person and hug them and kind of smile, laugh together. You know what I'm talking about, Ira?
I do. Don't hug me.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think would happen if at the end of the meeting, right, you actually did what you wanted to do, which is hug each other goodbye, right? I think it's okay, to be honest. Here's the other thing. Most of us by far need that feeling of connection, need that hug closure, not want, need scientifically, right? So how do we deal with that gap? That corporate is not, guiding us not to, but we actually need that. So here's where I shared an actual story that happened to me a few months ago. We went to a face-to-face presentation with a prospect. This was in a huge, very, very well, familiar brand name. I'm not going to mention the name. And, I'm just adding here a little tip. I don't believe in calling it a presentation because a presentation is a form of a one-way communication. I'm a huge believer through emotional relevance in two-way of communication. So we called it a what do we call it? And a discussion of sort. Doesn't matter. I kind of lost place of it because I'm telling you.
Where are we at? Are we down a little bit?
Hold on. I'm not looking at your screen. I'm looking at mine. So, yeah, we're good. We're exactly where you are. Yeah.
Okay.
So we went to the face-to-face presentation. It was 6 of us from my team, and we called it a face-to-face solution discussion, right? And this is, mind you, Ira, this is after a few months of sales cycle. So we already know the people. We never met them in person, though.
Right.
But we have some sort of a relationship.
Sure.
We arrived, and one of the main decision makers waited for us at the lobby. And he was, he recognized some of us from the pictures, from the online sessions, etc. But as soon as I shook his hand and we looked at each other, we felt it. We felt that spark. It was there. We looked at each other, we smiled, we didn't have to say much, right? It's kind of like a feeling of, yeah, man, all right, you and I, let's do this. And literally when that happens, it's magic.
Yep.
So the session was great. And throughout the session, when I was dancing and sharing and, doing my stuff, he was constantly, giving me like, non-verbal cues. And he even set it up for me a couple of times with a little question that I kind of nailed. And it was literally like a dance. It was beautiful, right? Okay, so we had a great session. Everybody was happy. And mind you, we've known each other for months. And here comes the end of the session, and you could feel it in the room. It's like 16 people, and we all wanted to hug it out. Really, Ira, it was like we're happy, and it was successful. When we just, you feel it. But you also feel that it's kind of weird because you're not supposed to hug. But everybody wants to, and I'm like, ugh. Yeah. So we're all kind of, shaking hands and small talk, and then the guy, I call it my new emotional friend, right? We're squeezing through between the chairs and the other people, and we finally get to one another. And we both want to jump on one another. We just shake hands kind of awkwardly because we all know that there's HR regulations out there, etc.
Right.
So
don't ignore HR.
No, you can't ignore HR. You can't. I mean, you can, but then there's ramification.
Right.
Yes. So we kind of smile and we're, shaking hands and all right. Now, here's the thing. This whole thing was beautiful. Really. It was great feeling, but it wasn't there. So anyways, the guy that walked us in is now walking us out to the car outside. And I told you it was 6 of us. So it was like 2 cars, and some of us are packing the bags in the trunk and already are in. And so it was me and basically 2 other that were busy with the bags out there. And Ira, I swear to God, it was like he's looking around, like
he's covering his butt.
He's like, I don't want anybody to see me. And then I look at him. We didn't say a word, but we understood, and we just kind of smiled and just gave each other a big hug. A really nice long hug, and we smiled, and we felt like teenagers who just, who literally just finished a test that we cheated on and we didn't get caught, right? Literally. So I kind of whispered to his ear. I said something like, this is what they call hugging it out, right? He goes, yep. And he winked and he goes, but only on the way out.
Love it.
Love it. Look.
You know what he did? I'm going to tell you what he did. He said, I know that guy Elon is going to try to hug me 3 more times. So he waited till the very last second. so that you can only get them once. That's what I would do to you.
Yeah, but look, we got the deal a few weeks later. Yes. Now, was it because of that hug? Absolutely not. Did it help? I guarantee you it did. The whole feeling, the whole emotional experience helped. There was a connection there. The hug outside kind of cemented it, right? I highly doubt that the two other finalists for this deal got any hugs from anyone over there.
Right. And it might have helped because it wasn't the last meeting. You had more meetings, and there is something about, just having a emotional connection with your team. It goes beyond just professional respect or whatever. And sometimes people don't even do that. You guys definitely had a bond. I think it's awesome. And I totally understand what you're saying. I am not the touchy-feely guy in the group. So for me, I could live most of the time without the hug. But there are times even I like the word need. There are times where I feel like a handshake, it's not enough. And maybe it's like, think about sports all the times in sports where you're high-fiving or you're, chest bumping or patting the guy on the butt.
Like I said earlier, the guy who wrote to me on LinkedIn, he said, "Look, I'm not a hugger. I don't like hugs, but if I do a good, the hug is a symbolic thing.
Yeah.
If you are aware of the feeling and can leverage it." And by the way, I gave him an interesting tip because remember, when we talk about emotional relevance, it's all senses, right? It's the senses. It's to plant an emotional anchor so you can then trigger it again and again, right? You can bet your ass off, Ira, that after we signed the deal, right, and we met again for dinner before kickoff, whatever, right? When I saw the guy again at that restaurant, when we met, we didn't wait until the end. When we met, we just hugged.
Right.
And here it is.
And now you have a problem because now every time you're going to want to hug him and he's going to be like, I don't want to hang out with that guy, Elon. He's going to try and hug me again.
Just
kidding.
But here is a quick tip because it's all in our senses, right? I told the guy who asked me about the handshake. If you don't like hugs and you're good with handshakes, but you want to instill that emotional experience, right? Here's a tip. Take an aftershave or a cologne or a eau de toilette, whatever, and give it a little spray on your hand before you shake somebody's hand. Shake their hand. That smell is going to chase them later, right? And remind them of you. Now, hopefully you selected a good scent, but yeah, there's so many tricks that the retail world does today.
I don't know that I've ever shared this, but I'm a Polo guy.
A what?
Polo. The green bottle? Polo.
Yeah, of course.
I was, now in full disclosure, before I got married, I was a huge, Old Spice. I loved Old Spice.
Yeah.
Grandfather was the Old Spice guy, and here's emotional relevance for you in action. I grew up adoring my grandfather. He wore Old Spice, so as an adult, I wore Old Spice, and I loved it. Never even thought about switching. But for whatever reason, my wife, who didn't have the same emotional relevance to the connection to the Old Spice scent,
commercial,
she's like, yeah, I don't care about that. I want you to wear Polo. So that's what got me on Polo. It was my wife. So 20 years later, we're still married. So I guess it works. But anyways, Polo.
It's all the same concept, right? They instill something in your mind, and then they trigger it again and again and again through different angles.
Yeah.
Right? The same thing with emotional relevance. The thing is that what I do is talk about the deep aspect of it, the subconscious stuff of it, not just, every time I see the brand Old Spice, this is what I think.
Right.
But the subconscious of that feeling. Now, look,
in the memories, it takes you down. Like when I smell Old Spice, I have thoughts that just come into my head. They're in there. They're on the shelf.
That's exactly what we talked about last time. The scent of coffee, what it triggers in people, same exact thing. And it smells, it's vision, It's a feeling, right?
Yep.
I'm sure there's some things that when you touch gives you the creeps or gives you happy thoughts because when you were a kid and you first touched them and felt them, it was related to something emotional that you've gone through. Same thing.
I forgot to put this up earlier. For those of you who are wondering, where can you find the blog that we just read? Well, there's a couple things you can do, and you should do probably. First and foremost, go to alonzyra.com and sign up for, join the blog list. He'll actually email you every 2 weeks and let you know when it comes out, so you can get it right away. But also, if you go to the website, you can not only sign up for the future blog, you can read the one we just read, but also you can read any ones that you've missed if you haven't seen them, and you can learn more about Alon Zybert. He is a dynamic person with a lot of things going on. That's why he made it onto the show with me so fast. Like, I didn't know Alon for very long, but after getting to know him a little bit and engage with him, and then reading his website, I was like, this is somebody I'd like to do a project with.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, here we are. But Alon Zybert is where you can find it. If you don't know how to spell it, because I know it's not a common name, it's ALONZAIBERT.com. And if you have questions for the show, you want to talk about the blog, you have a question for Alon, you want to ask him about the blog itself, or maybe you want to ask about Israel, or maybe you want to ask what it's like to be such a tall guy and, be the early warning detection system for when it starts raining. For guys like me, I got time to get my umbrella out.
Bring it. Whoever is listening now and read the blog or listened to me reading it a few moments ago, this is your time to ask any question that you want related to your work, related to your life, primarily work. I'm not a life coach. I'm more of a business relationship coach and trainer. So if you are, I see that we have still quite a few people online. So yeah, bring it.
We're happy to have you. How can we help?
I'll tell you something, Ira. I landed this morning in Newark from Israel. And it's just amazing. Sabrina, if we really think about it, a lot of things are attached to our emotions. We don't need to really think about it, Sabrina.
It's pretty obvious. Yeah.
It's straight up. That's my life. That's my passion, Sabrina. So yes, I'm just super passionate about it, and I bring it up, right? I just bring it up, and Sabrina, really, what I do is there's a formula that I work with business people how to be able to take your customers, your prospects, through an emotional experience, right? And then be able to trigger it again and again and again in order to establish that really deep connection, really deep trust, and openness. But I want to share something with you, Ira. This morning, I landed in Newark Airport super early. It was 4:30 a.m. And I had 4 hours until my next flight to Atlanta. And so I started walking towards the United Lounge. And I walk up the stairs. I try to take the stairs where I can instead of escalators or elevators. And as I walk up the stairs, I look to the left and I see this guy taking the elevator to the second floor to the lounge. And he looks at me, I look at him, and we both realize, because the elevator wouldn't respond and I got to the door, it was locked, that they open only at like an hour later or something, maybe a little less. It was 5 a.m., 5:45 they open up. So I go down the stairs, he looks at me and I look at him, and you could feel it. We just kind of both had a little connection. And then later on, listen to this. I saw him in the lounge later on. We started talking. As we were walking just to grab coffee, right? It was there. And here's the amazing thing, people. When it's there, people tend to open up more, which is great. It's great. It's awesome, the connection. That's what it's all about. He shared with me.
We have it's slowed down. It froze. I hope it's not me frozen and just you. Okay, so he was going to talk about his coffee experience there. We'll get him back as soon as we can. We did have the answer, the winner for the video is somebody that I don't actually know. She got the answer in first is Robbie Canterbury. So Robbie, congratulations. You just need to send me a direct message. And actually, I've already got one. So I'll respond to you. We'll figure out what kind of video would be helpful for you. Looks like you're office assistant, executive assistant in human resources. So we will figure out what kind of video I can make to help you, whether that's a promotion video to help you build your network, or perhaps, I don't know if you're looking for a job or whatever, but we'll figure it out. Okay, Alon is back on. Hello there, Alon.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'll just finish the story real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw the guy at the lounge. He shared with me, he just came back from 7 months in India, where his daughter 2 years old, his mom who's 70 years old. And we ended up talking. Make a long story short, he has now become a prospect for me. He told me about his sales team. He's the CEO of an IT company. They're a Salesforce partner. They got 8 people sales team. Their challenges are the same as what we talked about. And we set to talk next week about it.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Hey, yeah. And I tell people all the time on LinkedIn, people go, why, Ira, why do you spend so much time on LinkedIn? I go, well, first of all, I get paid basically to do that for a living. And 2, it's amazing how many doors can open up to you just by being a real person. Like, not being 100% self-absorbed, not being closed-minded when, you think somebody can't help you, because they may not be able to directly help you, but they also might be, a bridge to somebody that's like your perfect avatar.
That's exactly it.
So, I mean, in this particular case, I've had that happen quite a bit. Somebody needs a video, somebody needs a website, somebody needs some social media coaching. And it's like, it's a good thing that I didn't big time. I actually was sharing this the other day. I was talking about Kirsty Bonner, my friend who passed away. When I met Kirsty, she had a very small network on LinkedIn. And she really wasn't able to help me out. She was actually using my website, projecthelpyougrow.com, for free. She needed that resource to help do her job. She was a recruiter in Switzerland. Well, guess what? Because I was nice to her when she was small, when she passed me up like a dirty shirt, network says she had 2.3 million people in her network when she passed away. I have 200,000, right? I mean, it's a huge difference. So she never once big time me. She never once treated me like I was not important.
That's awesome.
And I have a feeling that it's partly because she remembered that I didn't do that to her when the roles were reversed.
But you got to be genuine, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, Ira, listen, I have a little bit of a thing that I need to address here in a minute with my daughter. So I'm gonna jump off actually in 2 minutes from my own show. I know it's weird, but I'm going to do that to you. But there was a question from Valerie that I wanted to answer. She asked if you could use emotional relevance in the corporate world with all roles or just sales type positions. It's not just sales. It's anywhere you need a relationship over time. The reason it's sales or customer success and account management is because my business avatar, my persona, it's going for people or organizations that sell something that is complicated, that requires a longer sales cycle, that requires relationship building, that requires touching more than 1 or 2 people during the sales cycle. Yep. So hopefully it answers your question, Valerie, and thank you for asking a great question. Ira, I'm giving you a virtual hug again with this.
Nice. Now I've got that screenshot. We're going to have some promotional stuff for next week with that.
And this is, every time we do this, I get so emotional, and I'm thankful for people to listen in, just to be able to share. And hopefully, you know what? Usually a few days later, I get just one person write me, says, hey, I used it, or, I took it with me to work or whatever. And this is the best thing ever. So thank you so much, Ira.
Hey, no problem. And I hope whatever it is that's going on with your daughter is resolved quickly. And I'll talk to you again soon, my friend.
Thank you so much.
See ya. All right, everybody. That was Alon. Alon is the author of the blog that we talk about week in and week out. This is every 2 weeks. Now, if you are like me and you like to be a creature of routine, I have another show that runs the opposites. So every Wednesday at this time, if you want to join me, you can. When I'm not doing the ABC show like next week, I'm going to be with Joe Stepke. He's called Joe the Finance Guy. And we basically have a virtual cup of coffee every Wednesday for an hour. And what we call that show is Wednesday's Cup of Joe. I know it's creative, but his name is Joe. I like coffee. We shoot the stuff. Last week, we ended up talking mostly about Cobra Kai, which was, we don't script that show, which is just off the cuff, whatever happens to be on our brain. Now, in full disclosure, Joe, the finance guy, is a bit of a comic geek. And when I say a bit, I mean like he's the biggest comic nerd I know. So he has what we call the Bat Cave, but in the Bat Cave, he has all kinds of figurines. He's got masks. He's got replica stuff. I mean, he's all the way in that, right? I'm the guy who I didn't even know the difference between DC and Marvel. So he will educate me sometimes. And we were talking last week too about the merits of Batman versus Superman and why I think that's he thinks that Batman would win, and I think there's no way Batman could win in that fight. I mean, I just don't understand how a guy with toys could beat a guy with superpowers. Legitimate, right? So, anyways, it's interesting. Mike was talking about the Green Lantern, talking about the brain and stuff, and we had a couple other people asking about Spider-Man and a few others I can't remember now, but whatever. The point is, we also talked about networking. We talked about some strategy for social media. So it could be really anything. That one is, if you just want to get to know more about me, or you want to get to know more about Joe, or you just want to have some fun, that's kind of like a lunch break idea there, even though it's after lunch. So it starts the same time, runs the same time, and I did that on purpose to try to make it easy. The other thing, if you're not aware, I actually will pull this up on my screen, and then I will share it so you can see. I have, remember the TV guides? Well, I did something called the Ira guide. And the reason why I did it is I kept getting asked by folks. Let me share my screen here. I kept getting asked by folks, hey, Ira, when are you on? And I know this is weird. You can't really see the whole thing. Let me see if I shrink it down and then scroll. No, you still can't see it. Anyways, well, there it is. I have this thing called the Ira guide. I promise the whole thing is actually there. It's just the screen share is not showing it, but it shows you. So I've got something on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, there's a new show that I'm announcing that I haven't announced yet. And I'm just trying to figure out where I want to slot it. I think I'm going to do Mondays, but I also might do Saturdays. So it's probably going to be on twice a week, which is the only show I'm planning on doing twice a week. But here's what it is. It's job seekers. It's giving them an opportunity to ask me questions. Okay, now who the heck am I? Why would you want to ask me a question? Well, I run Project Help You Grow. If you don't know, Project Help You Grow is a website that helps. The whole purpose of it is to help job seekers connect to recruiters and employers who have jobs to fill, right? So you've got people looking for work, connecting to people who have jobs that they need to fill. And then also what I do there is I give people strategy and tips on how to improve their job search. Like yesterday, I was talking about the ATS and why you should not use a PDF by default as your resume, even though most of you do. And the reason why is over half of the ATSs in use right now do not parse or understand PDFs. So if you submit a PDF to one of those, you're automatically out. You've given yourself no chance. You wasted your time even submitting your resume. So when the job listing doesn't say to use a PDF, you should by default use a Word file. That was the point of the post. A lot of people were surprised by that. And that didn't come as a shock to me. I knew that. That's why I made the post. Right? Today, what did I talk about today? Oh, today I said, job seekers should ask how the employer handles raises and promotions. And again, it's something people don't think about in the interview process. They just assume, well, I'll jump in low, I'm going to work really hard, and in a couple months, they're going to see how much value I add to their organization. They're going to give me a raise. Well, let me tell you the cold, hard truth. Most of the time, that's not going to happen. Most employers are not giving the first raise for now 2 to 3 years, meaning no cost of living increase, no performance increase, nothing. So if you accept below what you need, thinking you're going to get a raise, and you never ask how they handle the raises, you could be in some serious trouble, because not only do you have to pay for your life now, but you have to pay for your life for the next couple of years, and you may not be able to sustain it. Then one of two things is going to happen. One of three things is going to happen. A, you're going to burn out, you're going to quit, you're going to be on the job search again. B, you're just going to be really, really disgruntled and no one's going to like you. You're going to ruin, again, it's burnout. Or 3, what's going to happen, you have to get a second job, another source of income, and you'll be exhausted all the time. None of those are good outcomes, and all of them are easily preventable if you just ask the question, how do you handle raises and promotions ahead of time? Now, if you know they're not going to give you any, there's no hope of getting a raise for the first 2 years. What I want you to do, what I suggest you do, is you ask for more than you need now, because you know you not only need what you need today, but there's a cost of living increase that's coming, because the cost of gas and power and food and rent and all those things tend to go up every year. You need to be able to cover it without having to get that second source of income. There's so much power in just answering these questions, but there are so many different questions. And sometimes, as career professionals, we forget that the people we're dealing with don't know all this automatically, right? Like, I've known about the Word doc for a couple of years. So for me, this is nothing new. A lot of what I cover is not new. And so the point of the show is job seekers can ask me pointed questions, anything they want. Now, if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. And I had some of those. I've done the show already, even though I don't have a title for it and I don't have a fixed day and time. I did it, I think, on Sunday, if I remember right. But anyways, I'll get it on the Ira guide. If you're looking for that show, it's likely going to be on Monday or on Saturday or on both. But I'll lock it down. And then you can go to the Ira guide, which is on my profile. Just go to the featured, go to LinkedIn, go to Ira, go to my featured, and then there it is, the first thing. It's called the Ira guide. It's a play on TV guide. It's kind of funny, but that's the point of it, just so you know where and when you can find me. And then the rest of the week, I'm on Tuesdays with Speed Networking with Mike and Ira, even though I blew it this week. I had technical issues with the link. So I got that straightened out. In fact, I've got an event page already on LinkedIn for next time. So you can actually go search Speed Networking with Mike and Ira, and there's an event page you can actually register and get yourself set for that. And then Wednesdays, about, and Thursdays in the morning, I do the roundtables with Exit Your Way, which I work for them fractionally as the sales and marketing director. So we do that. Starts at 7:30 Pacific time. We do networking for a half hour, and then we have a 45-minute presentation, and another 45 minutes or so of networking, and we try to wrap it up by 9:30 Pacific time. You can adjust that to 11:30 Eastern or wherever you are at. Okay, so this is the conclusion of today's show, which is Alon's Blog Club. If you have not gone to Alon's website, let me give it to you one more time before we get out of here so that you can get signed up for his blog. Go to alonzybert.com. You can read the blog if you didn't read it already. You can read any past blogs that are already published. He's got quite a few on there for you to read. They're all very good. And then you can sign up for notifications. He'll actually email you when the new blog comes out, which is every other Thursday. So his blog will come out, the new blog will come out next Thursday, and then we'll have a show about it the following Wednesday after that. And that's how we go. Again, next Wednesday at this time, it's going to be me and Joe Stepke having Wednesday's Cup of Joe. And you can see me tomorrow. Actually, you can't see me tomorrow. We're taking this week off. Normally, you could see me on Thursdays on the roundtable. I'll tell you what, I will do a special episode tomorrow morning of the to be named questions with Ira, answers with Ira, job seekers ask Ira questions. I don't know what the heck to call it. I'll figure it out. I can't think of any. Usually I come up with stuff pretty quick, but this one's escaping me. It's very important. Look, I'm trying to help people. So that's the bottom line. That's why I do Project Help Your Grow. I don't make a single penny from it. Never have. Never intend on it. It's just a free thing that I do, but it's an important thing that I do. And I spend a lot of time and effort on it. And so if I can help people this way, then that's what I'm going to do. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. We are going to turn on the music and bebop on out of here. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you need me, you can reach me in my inbox. All you got to do is go to LinkedIn, send me a DM, and I will get back to you as I can. I don't respond to some of the questions, the simple stuff like the highs or how are you doing or what do you do for a living. I assume you can look at my profile and figure all that stuff out. That's what social media profiles are for. Anyways, have a question, a serious question for me, go ahead and send me a DM. You can find me on irabowman.com. You can find me on bowmandigitalmedia.com. You can find me on projecthelpyougrow.com. You can find me on serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com. You can find me on exityourway.us. Can't find me, you're not trying. Have a good week, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Alon's Blog Club. I love this music. See y'all later.